I swear to Christ, I thought this was season 3. It does not feel like the show has been on for 4 seasons. But we're back, baby. Harley Quinn season 4, episode 1, Gotham's hottest hotties. And it's your boy Icon back with some DC animated TV now. So, I forgot a lot about, but no, not so much everything, because I do remember the Valentine's Day episode where Bane was banging the city, literally banging in the city. So that was part of season 3 apparently. So now in this particular season, in the new season, Harley joined the Bat family. I remember that, and Ivy, for some reason, she's the CEO of the Legion of Doom. I don't remember her joining the Legion of Doom. So I'm going to have to go back and watch to see how that shot. Because even when they showed like, oh, last season on Harley Quinn, and they had the whole thing where Lex was like, you know, you're in charge now. I'm just like, when did that scene? I don't remember that shit. Anyway, so 2 stories going on here. Because now both Harley and Ivy, Ivy, they both have their new careers. Which is awkward because you have a villain date, because the 2 of them are together, but it's like a villain dating a hero now because she works with the Bat family. Harley Quinn is a part of the Bat team, and Poison Ivy, she's the head of the Legion of Doom, so it's like super conflict of interest. Anyway, so Poison Ivy, though, so she shows up at the LOD. They kept calling it the LOD, the Legion of Doom. And then while she's in the Legion of Doom, because she's a woman, nobody wants to listen to her. They're just like, you know, fucking with her, calling her a skirt. You know, they sent her a bathing suit instead of a power suit. And when she tried to do what she called socially conscious evil, nobody wanted to have anything to do with her evil plans. Because what Ivy's trying to do is, she's basically trying to commit villainy by saving the environment at the same time, because she said that there was an oil rig that was in the middle of the ocean, and she wanted to take the oil from the oil rig and shove it down the throats of the people that are drilling for the oil, because they're going to like ruin the plants and the water and the fish and everything of that nature. So she's trying to relay these plans to her minions because she's in charge of the Legion of Doom, and ain't nobody fucking with her, and they tell her to kick rocks and like walk away. So because she's suffering as far as like how to get control of the Legion of Doom, her big plan to get everybody on her side to do the type of shit that she wants to do is she just gives everybody what they want. So she took, because they're mostly men. There weren't a lot of women in the room, like sitting at the table of Legion of Doom. So she basically catered to all the male egos, and she was just like, hey, whatever your villainous plans are, whatever you got planned, she was like, I'll approve it. You want rocket ships, I'll approve it. You want missiles, I'll approve it. So she approved everything. The problem was she approved like bombs and stuff for Bane, and Bane ended up blowing up the oil rig that she was trying to prevent from damaging like the ecosystem. So Bane blew the shit up, and then all the oil ended up in the ocean. So now she's pissed. And like, she's upset. She's talking to Nora Frost. And Nora Frost is just like, you're supposed to be in charge. She was like, you'll take these motherfuckers by the balls and show them like who's boss, and tell them that, you ain't one to be fucked with. So she goes back into the room and basically whoops everybody's ass. Like, she kicks everybody's ass. She uses her plant power to bring order to the room. Now everybody's afraid of her, and now she's ruling through fear. And she told Bane to get his ass out there into the ocean and clean up all that goddamn oil. And she said, now we're going to do her plans, which is socially conscious villainy. And I can't wait to see what that's all about. So now, back on the good side of things, Harley, she's like struggling to adjust to life with the Bat family. She shows up late for, for her first day on the job. Before she showed up for the job, she was at a newsstand, and she was basically just reading magazines over some of Gotham's greatest influencers and hottest celebrities. She bumped into Professor Pig at the newsstand. And there was this one particular person, this one particular social media, elitist, where Professor Pig said that she had a very beautiful clavicle, and Harley thought that was weird, but he was just like, oh, that's just what I'm into, or whatever, and then he walked away. So then later on, so she's at Bat headquarters, they're going through the computer, they're trying to figure out, when the next crime is going to be, because like Nightwing said, he said, we got to sit here, do our due diligence, basically stay in shape, and the computer will tell us when there's a crime. So Harley was going through one of the magazines that she got from the newsstand, and then she saw that Nightwing was also one of he was like, I guess like the second hottest like superhero of all time, and everything, like all the ladies liked him. And she's like, oh, you're in the same magazine with Homegirl, as far as like one of the sexiest, hottest people in Gotham. So then the computer goes off, and then we find out somebody died. Damian Wayne was actually excited to see this, because he said he's never actually seen a dead body, which I thought was weird, because aren't you the grandson of Ra's al Ghul? So then Alfred comes up to Damien, and he's just like, well, he was just like, oh, Master Damien. He's like, let's let the adults, go handle the criminal stuff. And then he's like, you and I have a date in prison to see your father. So they go down to the prison, And when they go down to the prison, Bruce isn't there. And because Bruce is rich, he's staying at one of those high-class prisons, and he has his own butler. He has a prison butler. So Alfred wasn't feeling that because he was just like, "Hey, what's your name?" And then I think his name was like Alex or so, or Alfred. No, his name was like Alex or some shit like that. So Alfred meets the new butler. He meets like the prison butler for Bruce. Alfred's not very happy about that because he doesn't like the competition. And then he finds out that Bruce has to take like a stock call because they're trying to prevent the trigger. They said they're trying to prevent the trigger, and Bruce needs to do his damage control quickly. And then he was like, "Oh, you're on conference calls, with the CFOs." And then he was just like, "Yes, because Bruce tells me everything." So now Alfred's in his feelings over that. So meanwhile, so they go to investigate, and it appears that some elitist chick got her hand chopped off, and apparently she died. There's another person, like the person that Harley saw at the newsstand, that Professor Pig said had a beautiful clavicle. She got her clavicle like cut out and whatever. And she was at the hospital. Harley and Batgirl go talk to her, and then she was just like, "Yeah, I don't know what happened." She was just like, "I was doing a live stream, and then somebody attacked me." And then that's when Barbara was just like, "Well, shit, that's how the killer is getting all his victims, because all the people that have been attacked, these are all like social media influencers, and every time they go live on social media, that's when they get run up on by the killer, because that's how he knows where to find them." And then Harley put two and two together based on what Professor Pig said to her about the girl having a nice clavicle. And then she was just like, "Shit, Professor Pig is the person that's abducting all these people." And then they were just like, "Well, if that's the case, how do we lure him out so we can capture him?" And then she was like, "Well, if he's going after the hottest people in Gotham, and he finds them by live streaming, let's let Nightwing do a photo shoot, because he's the second sexiest person in Gotham or whatever." They said, "Let's have Nightwing do a photo shoot, and we'll use that to lure Professor Pig in." So they do the photo shoot, and then while they're doing the photo shoot, Professor Pig basically walks in the room, knocks Nightwing out, and leaves with him. And I'm like, how did y'all miss that? So he even walked right past Damian. So then they find out that, oh shit, he's been captured. They go looking for Nightwing. They find Nightwing. Harley finds him. And then they find Professor Pig. Harley beats the shit out of Professor Pig, and then she basically killed him. So they rescue Nightwing's derriere, and now the Bat family's looking at her like, "Bitch, you just murdered somebody." Yeah, like that's just not something that we do. So her first day didn't go off so well. And then in the final scene, we find out what the trigger is, because we see a woman that's sitting watching, I guess, the stock channel. And then they said like, "Oh, the Wayne Enterprises stock has crashed and it's hit an all-time low." And then the woman picks up the phone and she's just like, "Oh, the trigger has happened. It's time for me to make my way to Gotham, darling." And as soon as she sounds like, "It's fucking Talia." Like you could tell by the hair, by the eyes, by the skin. I was like, "It's fucking Talia." So I don't know what the trigger is, but we'll find out in the next episode. Talia Al Ghul is on her way to Gotham City. That was how the episode ended, and thank you for tuning in. So the show is off to a good start. I like the dynamic of having one of them be like the head villain and the other one being on the freaking Bat team of all places. Because again, it's a beautiful conflict of interest, and we'll see how the two of them handle it as their relationship progresses going forward. So check me out on Instagram and the X app, formerly known as Twitter. Hit me up on YouTube, where you can share your questions, comments, and concerns, because because we ended up getting 3 episodes of Harley Quinn right out the gate. So I got all 3 episodes on my YouTube channel, or I will by the time you see this video. The season finale of Marvel's Invasion on the channel. I got Warrior on the channel for you Warrior fans, and we're still doing my adventures of Superman. So thanks for tuning in, guys. So until episode 2 of Harley Quinn, look out for the hottest people in Gotham. Until then, we're out this. Yeah!